Greetings all, my name is Kontrol. I'm a professional artist, fan of classic comics, and avid gamer. Thank you so much for jumping on my latest Let's Draw. This time, we're visiting the beautiful American mountain community of Raccoon City. It's kind of a charming urban village, known for its friendly populace, picturesque forests, fine restaurants, oddly dressed police officers, massive underground laboratories, exploding helicopters, and non-stop cries of agony. I told them legalizing marijuana would have consequences. Okay, perhaps not the best vacation spot for people who like their trips a bit less on fire. It's just crucial that you understand action is your reward for going to Raccoon City. It seems that in between Resident Evil 1 and 2, the place was transformed into a zombie-infested hellscape, complete with aggressive canines, wall-crawling bloodsuckers, and probably a few Patriots fans. No game with the word evil in the title would be complete without them. Now, even before the fan-frickin-tastic Remake came out, Resident Evil 2 was one of those sequels that is well known for vastly improving on the original product. It's a phenomena that's far more common in games than movies. Games tend not to rely as hard on a great script to be good, so it's mostly down to improving the visuals and existing play mechanics, which should be a slam dunk in theory. And yet, Dark Souls 2 exists. What do you suppose happened? Enough! Back on topic. What I was getting at is, Resi 2 has been considered video game royalty for a couple of decades now. It is a well-known commodity among gamers. Even those that haven't played it would likely recognize the thing on sight. Sort of like how I recognize Fortnite and Minecraft when I see them. Yeah, that's them. But not everyone plays video games. Yeah, I know. This just got dark. But it's true. I read about it in Time magazine. It's entirely possible that someone is watching this who is clueless about who these characters are and what their drama's all about. This is technically an art post after all. Actually, it's entirely possible no one's watching this at all. I can fit my subs in a phone booth. But due diligence requires I give you a rundown of Leon and Ada's adventures in Raccoon City. So, synopsis time. Music, please. Okay. It may surprise you to learn that Resident Evil 2 is something of a period drama, taking place in 1998, 2 months after Resident Evil 1, and more importantly, a year I could still reasonably be considered young.
Stop making it about you, Kontrol.
Shut up! Now, a full detailed breakdown of Resi 1 would probably be useful here, but we're on the clock, so you'll have to settle for the shoddy Flatbush book report version. Here we go. I wrote this down. Let's see. Here we go. Raccoon City super cops investigating murders in the forest end up stranded in a mansion that is infested with zombies and monsters, which are the result of biological experiments conducted by the evil Umbrella Corporation in a secret laboratory that is ultimately blown to smithereens. Cue credits and alternate endings. Cool. On to the main event. Resident Evil 2. Bitch. After the mansion debacle, the zombie outbreak has spread to the neighboring Raccoon City. It is unclear what percentage of the local population is currently undead. Or dead. Judging by the amount of living humans seen throughout, I'd say maybe 1% are still alive. The others, those thousands of souls, would never live to see Disney Star Wars or the final season of Game of Thrones. They were the lucky ones. Okay, enter our hero, Leon S. Kennedy, a rookie cop who abandoned the rest of his boy band to serve on the Raccoon City police force. He's on his way into town to start his first day on a job. He meets up with an adorable college student named Claire, who is also on her way to Raccoon. The wrinkle here is they joined forces while under siege from zombies at a nearby gas station. The kind of life-altering supernatural event that might interrupt the schedules of ordinary people. But Leon and Claire are confident their mutual ability to respawn will see them through any potential hazards. So they proceed to drive right into the eye of the zombie storm. At this point, some of you might be asking, how can an American city be wiped out by a zombie plague virus without the entire world knowing about it? Well, the answer is obvious. Shut up and play the damn game, that's how. Rule one of every Resident Evil game. Disbelief must be suspended, removed from office. Take your disbelief, run it through a wood chipper, incinerate what's left, then sprinkle the ashes over Lake Minnetonka. All done? Good. Now grab that box of ammo sitting on the garbage can and let's move on. Within seconds of arriving in Raccoon, Leon and Claire are nearly crushed by a runaway truck. The resulting explosion separates them, so they're forced to take different paths to the police station. Why the police station? Well, Claire's brother Chris, he's one of the good guys from the previous game, is a cop who works there. And Leon knows being late on day one is a bad look on a new job. You want to make that good first impression, people. And besides, it's a police station, manned by well-armed, highly trained professionals. What could possibly go wrong there, am I right? No, I am wrong. Side note, unlike the original version of this story, Leon doesn't see Claire again until the very end of the game. Claire runs off on her own for babysitting duty and an obligatory pummeling from the local police chief, but that's a pinup for another day. Leon navigates the police station with the assistance of a wounded pre-zombie cop named Marvin. Marvin's fellow police officers didn't have the same amount of juice and went out like little bitches. The place is an ornate house of horrors featuring unlikely door locks, puzzle-locked secret passageways, roaming monstrosities, and worst of all, vending machines that don't work. There's your M rating, Capcom. So I'm supposed to fight zombies without my chips now? Damn you, Umbrella. There's also this terrifying dude dressed like Inspector Gadget that keeps randomly showing up to punch you to death. He's super big, but not big enough. What I mean is he can walk through all the same doors Leon can, unless the room on the other side has a typewriter in it. Trenchcoat guy has a crippling fear of old school office equipment. Speaking of trench coats, Leon finally runs into Ada in the station parking garage. She produces a badge. FBI. Smoking Hotties Unit. Ada wears sunglasses to reduce the effect of Leon's good guy charisma. And standard FBI issue silk stockings and high heels, in case the outbreak makes its way to the local club scene. Ada struts around the parking garage as if she's walking the aisles at Macy's. And why shouldn't she? She obviously navigates the same rooms and corridors Leon does without encountering any of the crazy. If you saw Ada's version of events, it's probably her playing fetch with the same zombie dogs that attack Leon's throat on sight. Unfortunately, Ada's invincibility isn't helping them leave the garage. So she dispatches poor Leon to find the keys and electronic parts, solve the various puzzles, activate the clock tower, and survive the escalating barrage of inhuman enemies necessary to open the parking garage gate. You get the distinct feeling that if not for the zombie outbreak, Raccoon City would have eventually been destroyed by catastrophic inconvenience. Hey, Leon, ever heard of a crowbar? Anyway, our heroes are now out of the police station. They are now free to make their way to the warmth and safety of the city sewer system. Yeah, what could possibly go wrong there? What's that? Who said giant alligator? You know, you'd be forgiven for thinking that being almost eaten by a giant reptile would be the highlight of your evening. But the night is just getting started for Leon here. By the time he runs into humanoid carnivorous plants, I half expected him to say, "Gee, I was wondering when I'd run into humanoid carnivorous plants." Every imaginable horror piled into a single night of highly unlikely survival. Fortunately, prescient municipal planners were prepared and issued a citywide mandate for ammunition and magic spray cans every 30 square feet throughout the city. Okay, so you're getting some insight into the life of one Leon S. Kennedy. A day most of us would call a traumatizing, unspeakable event of biblical proportions, he calls Tuesday. Because as future Resident Evil games and animated movies would reveal, blasting through undead monsters is the only kind of day Leon ever has. Never in the same place, but always the same basic scenario. And always the same inevitable appearance of, say it with me, Ada. Ada was, of course, lying her ass off about being FBI, and is in fact a hired mercenary working for shady actors. I don't think her personal agenda has ever been explained, but her function in the game seems to just be a friendly, flirty rival to our Boy Scout Leon. There's sort of a Batman-Catwoman dynamic going on. But the chemistry never really clicked for me until the Resident Evil 2 remake. I never found myself that interested in learning more about Ada's character until this latest appearance. Honestly, it's the first time she seemed to intermittently behave like a normal human being and not some sexy robot ninja chick. So, I now consider myself a real deal Ada fan. Thus, her spot in my newest video game pinup. Congratulations, Ada. She's occupying a spot normally reserved for Claire Redfield. As the CEO of my art table, I am authorized to hand out that promotion. I'll get you next time, Claire. While I'm having a lot of fun drawing fan art based on fairly current games, there is one aspect that's a bit of a buzzkill. If I were drawing this pinup based on the original PlayStation Resident Evil 2, a lot of the costume and facial details would have been subject to my own interpretation, freeing me up to draw my own personal versions of Leon and Ada. Today, with every detail so painstakingly rendered in-game, I feel obligated to get the design correct more than anything. That being said, the lines themselves are all mine, as are the poses. So if nothing else, the finished product is uniquely my creation, for good or bad. Please don't say bad. Anyway, that's pretty much a wrap. I'm ecstatic that you made it to the end. If you enjoyed this Let's Draw, I have to insist you hit that like button and subscribe to this channel. And, oh wait, what's next? Oh, and share it with every Resident Evil fan you know. Yep, we're new, but there's plenty more where this came from. Kontrol out.